Hello, it's Claire from Clembarker Crafts. Thank you for joining me today. Today I thought I'd show you how you could make this really pretty note card, which could also be a birthday card, and it's made from minimal supplies. So I'll show you how I made that. First things that I've used are the go-to greetings for that one. The Dainty Delight dies, Dainty Delight dies, which is this bit here, and the Stitched with Whimsy dies, which is this framework here. And I've also used a Bright and Beautiful DSP, which is this one at the back, just there. So the Bright and Beautiful DSP, you can find that on page 129. Which is here, and I've used this one here, and then for the next one that I'm going to show you in a minute, I've used this one. The Stitch with Whimsy dies are on page 167. There, they come in 6 different sizes, and I've used this second from the largest one. Dainty Delight dies 163. Just here. And I've used this one and then this smaller one twice. So that's those and where to find them in the catalogue. So this time I'm going to go with Berry Burst. So this card base is, I've cut it from an A4 piece of cardstock, and it's cut at 8 inches. Yeah, 8 inches by 5 3/4, and then I've just scored it at 4 and folded it and burnished to make the card. And then I've got the pattern paper, as I say, from the Bright and Beautiful DSP, and that's cut to 5 1/2 by 2 3/4, and that just mats onto the front of there, like that. And then, as I say, for this bit, I've used the Stitch with Whimsy, and it's the second from the largest one. And when I first cut it out, when I first got it and cut it out, it cuts out like this. I wasn't really too keen on this border around the edge, to be honest. So what I thought I'd do is have a go at fussy cutting it. And I don't know whether you can see, but where the die cuts, it sort of leaves a border around the edge. So it makes it fairly easy to fussy cut. Even if you're not great at fussy cutting like me, it does make it quite easy. So all I did was, I just followed that round. Like that. And as I say, fussy cutting is not my forte really. I often forget to move the paper rather than the scissors, and I often forget to use the back of the scissors, the back of the blade, rather than the front. So I do have to be quite mindful when I'm doing it, and I do have to concentrate quite a lot to make sure that I can do a half decent job of it. I think it's quite forgiving, this die, though, because I think even if you came off the line, I don't think you'd notice too much, because it's quite an irregular shape anyway, so I think it'll probably be all right. Just got to make sure you can keep the light so you can see properly. Scissors in a bit more. That. Go around the corner. There we go. Let's get rid of that. And then the next thing I did was I just inked around the edges. So I'm going to use Berry Burst. Just get off. And then I'm just going to go on my paper and then onto the cardstock so that I'm just getting the edge of it. And I'm just going to blend around the edge. I don't want a lot of colour on it. It's just to give it a little bit of colour. Just to break up that stark whiteness. I'm just going to blend that a bit. It's a bit more colour than I would have wanted, so I'm just going to try and blend that down a little bit. Yeah, that's nice. Okay. And then the sentiment from the Go-To Greetings is this one. Just go a little stamp off a bit. That's it. And I want it over towards the right hand side and about in the middle. And I'm hoping that I can stamp it right first time. Yeah, nice. Right, these dies I've actually cut out, you can probably see this is the back and this is the what I call the main side of the Bright and Beautiful DSP, and I've just used the other side. So that's all that is. It just gives it a bit of texture and a bit of shading on it. So that's just going to go like that. And then these two, these are just cut from basic white cardstock. And what I'm going to do to stick this, I'm going to use wet glue because I'm not very good, to be honest, with anything else. I don't have that ability to stick straight first time, so I'm just going to get rid of the bit of fluff on the end of my glue. Set, that's better. I'm just putting little blobs on the widest part, and that should hopefully be enough to hold it on. I'm trying not to get too many glue strings as well. That one off. Set. Okay, and I'm just aiming for sort of a curved shape. Like that. And I'm happy if it comes off the bottom there, because it will still be on the card, so it's not going to hang over and cause any problems fitting it in the envelope or anything like that. Okay, and the same thing with this one. And it's up to you where you place it, really. I mean, there's not really any specific way. Just hold it down so it grabs. More back down there. And I'm just going to stick that on like that, I think. Just hold it down a little bit, press it down. Okay. Let's just move that Okay, so we'll just stick this one on first of all. I do apologise if you can hear dogs barking. They're my dogs barking in the garden. I've got 3 dogs, so they can be a bit loud when they all set off together. Right, stick on there. And then this, I've actually put it onto some foam pads, some quite thick foam pads that I'd got left over. And I just lay it sort of at an angle like that, so that it comes over the side of the paper, but make sure to keep it on the card. You could use Stampin' Up dimensionals for this, of course, but I don't have any of those at the moment, so I'm just using up these that I already have. I do seem to like this sort of what I call Katie cornered design, because as I've mentioned before, I'm not very good at sticking it on straight. So if I have this design to start with, then I can't really go that wrong. Okay, so stick that down like that. And then to finish off, some pearls. Just going to change this. Nope, the other end, isn't it? It's the other end. The other end for the pearls. Okay, use this one. So one at the top, about there. Go. As I say, quite easy. Not many, you don't need many supplies to do it. But really pretty card. And as I say, you could use it for birthday, anniversary. You could have anything on there, couldn't you? So I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did enjoy it, please give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that. And if you want to see more of what I do in the future, please consider subscribing to my channel. And hitting the notification bell, and then you'll see whenever I post a new video. Thanks again for watching. Bye for now.